Hey guys, in today's video we are doing one of the most fun things down in the fish room. We are unboxing some new fish. This is a package from Beantown Aquatics. We have some beautiful cichlids that are going to be unboxed today and added to one of my tanks. I cannot wait to check them out. So let's dive right in. So the new fish are going to be going in the 135 gallon custom aquarium here. Let's go ahead and check it out, see the current state of the tank and the fish before we go ahead and unbox these beauties and put them in the tank. So this tank is currently set up with Lake Malawi African Cichlids, specifically with peacocks and haps. There's some really beautiful species in here, but I've also had a couple losses over the last 7 or 8 months, so I wanted to kind of bulk up the numbers here because there's also some aggression going on and there's just more space in the tank for this type of setup, so this is going to be a perfect addition to the tank. First of all, in a recent video I mentioned that this Taiwan reef has started to grow and color up. He's really became the tank boss, and down in the corner unfortunately is the red shoulder peacock, which had been the tank boss in this tank and the previous 75 gallon tank for probably 3 or 4 years. And the Taiwan reef has just claimed that top spot and has really beat up the red shoulder. A lot of aggression happening with this upset in the hierarchy, and I'm trying to kind of dissipate that aggression with some new fish. And I would really like some more pop of color in this tank, and that's one of the reasons I am so excited for this unboxing. The current scape of this tank is pretty minimal rock work and some aragonite sand mixed with some crushed shells. This is really good for African cichlids and buffering their pH, and they like the open water swimming space, so these guys are so active, swimming back and forth all day long, and I think the new group is going to look great with them. The lights on this tank are aqua illumination freshwater blades, and I really like the dynamic it adds to the tank, especially with them hanging above it. And then we filter this aquarium with the seamless sump that came with the aquarium from Custom Aquariums. We also have the clear water algae scrubber here, which helps reduce nitrates with the algae in this container consuming some of those nutrients. So I do far less water changes on this tank than a typical African cichlid overstocked tank would have. So now it is time to unbox the new fish. I am very excited for this. This came from Beantown Aquatics, and I've actually seen some of his fish in person. When I was down in Aquashell at Dallas, I saw his booth and he had beautiful cichlids, especially his peacocks and haps. So that kind of planted a seed in my mind that I definitely wanted to order from him in the future. And my brother Alec has ordered from Beantown Aquatics in the past for his Lake Malawi hap tank he used to have, and he was really happy with the quality. So I knew I wanted to go ahead and order from him. I've heard only good things, so let's go ahead and get this guy unboxed. As usual, this was UPS overnight shipping, so they've only been in the box maybe 12-16 hours. They came right to me in the morning, direct to my door, which was really nice. And here we go. We have the styrofoam lid. We have a couple stickers from Beantown Aquatics, which is cool. And all of these shipments are always so well packaged as a heat pack, even though it wasn't too cold today. It's always nice to have that. Looks like a t-shirt from Beantown Aquatics, so that's really cool. But now let's check out the fish. Alright, and then we have some insulation foam and a protective layer outside of the bags. And this is all within a styrofoam box as well, so just really, really good shipping. And these are some big bags of fish, so this is awesome. And we're going to check them out one by one. But an interesting part about this unboxing is I was talking to the owner of Beantown Aquatics. I told him about the stocking of my tank, and I gave him some general directions of what fish I would kind of like, but I wanted him to surprise me and to also send me some of his best of the best. So I'm really excited for this. I'm actually going to be surprised to see some of these, I think. So let's go ahead and start with number 1 here. Wow. This is a 5-inch bicolor. Look at that. Absolute beauty with some blues and yellows in the body. This is a really good size as well, so he's going to fit in right away with some of my other African cichlids in that tank. Next up we have another big boy. This is 4.75 inches and another really nice African cichlid. This one is a common hap species, so not the big predatory type, but one of the smaller ones, or at least they stay slightly smaller than the predatory types. But awesome color on this guy as well. Okay, so next up we have is a special one because it is a German import. So one thing that's really interesting about Beantown Aquatics is that they are the US retailer. They import from Germany for a lot of their fish, and they're really high quality, sought after fish from Germany, from Aquahaus Gauss, if I'm saying that correctly. It's an awesome facility that I've seen online before, but a good amount of Beantown Aquatics fish are the German imports. But the other 5 fish in this box are not imports, and I believe they're also available on the website, so you could get the exact same fish that I'm getting here for at least most of them. But this guy is a absolute beast. This is a big Spot Hap, and he is 5.5 inches. Wow, this guy is huge. Some really great blue with yellow fins. This guy might challenge for the top spot in the hierarchy right away. Absolute beauty. We're gonna get an even better look at these fish once they're in the tank. Obviously they have some of that blue color in the water right now, so you can't see them perfectly, but we're gonna continue on. Next up, alright, we have a Lwanda Peacock. This is one I definitely wanted. I actually have a Lwanda already, but it is not the best color, and it's kind of been like low on the hierarchy for a long time. It's just never really done the best in my tank. So this guy has clearly better fins and colors, and also maybe even size. So I'm looking forward to having another Lwanda. Alright, and last but not least, another big bag. Alright, this is another Hap. This is a 5.5 inch, just an absolutely beautiful big specimen with a lot of different color patterns to him, and just the size of this guy is pretty incredible. So these are some absolute beauties, and we're going to get an even better look at them once they are in the tank and settled in and colored up. And I couldn't be happier with the 6 new fish here. I believe 3 are Haps, 3 are Peacocks, and they're going to fit in really nicely because they have such great size already. And I'm going to go ahead and get them floating, and we're going to explain a little bit about my process there. So these guys are going to float for about 30 minutes as they temperature acclimate to the tank, and then we're going to plop and drop them into the aquarium. And because there's a group of 6, it should hopefully go okay with 6 new inhabitants. No one fish could really be singled out by the rest, hopefully. I will also turn off the lights when they go into the aquarium, at least for a few hours. You might be wondering, am I going to quarantine these fish? And normally I would always quarantine, and I would always recommend it. But I am undergoing some big changes right now in my fish room. The 2 20-gallon tanks I typically use in my fish room for quarantine are being used. They are set up again, but one is being used for the breakdown of my African shell dweller tank that I mentioned before. So some of the shellies are going in one of the 20s, and then I have unplanned breeding, which I will talk about in a video coming up very soon, that is occupying the other tank. I am also shutting down the African shell dweller tank and then replacing that with a 40-gallon breeder, which I do not have yet. It will be coming later this week. So there are a lot of things happening, not only with that room, but everything down here in my fish room. And because I'm in between projects, I really don't have a good quarantine tank for these guys. Plus they are really good sizes. All of them are 4.5 to 5.5 inches, and they're just a little bit too big, I think, to even go in the 20-gallon quarantine tanks. So I didn't really have the setup today to quarantine them, but I would always recommend it. The other excuse for not quarantining, which isn't a great one, but I did order from a reputable source. Beantown Aquatics is one of the best out there, and I knew that he would have healthy fish to go in this tank right away. So that's kind of the compromise we're making today, but as always, I would recommend quarantining, and I'll quarantine for almost all my other shipments in the future, but today it's a specific instance where we are not. These guys have now been temperature acclimated, so now it's time to plop and drop. It's a really easy process. You just put a net over a bucket, then dump it straight through the net so it catches the water. You triple bag these, I didn't even realize that. Alright, it's an absolute beauty. Look at that guy. Alright, this is one of the biggest boys. This is the big Spot Hap, and he actually bagged this 4 times, so very secure. Might need to get a bigger net. Look at that guy. Absolute stunning color on this guy. Really big with blue and yellow. Just awesome. Alright, next up is the bicolor peacock. Really nice blue and yellows on this guy too. Alright, last but not least, beautiful Lwanda Peacock. Alright, so you can already kind of see that they're in here swimming around doing great, but I'm going to go ahead and turn off all the lights down here in my basement. We'll come back in a few hours and check on these guys. But man, I can already see that German import is absolutely beautiful. Bright red with yellow egg spots. Can't wait to see him with the lights on. Let's go. Alright, so this is a few hours later, and right away I am going to this guy because he looks incredible. Look at the color on this. This is the German import. Just an absolute beautiful fish with the red and the yellow egg spots. Then right here, I believe that's the labridens. Really good color and size on this guy. Beautiful. Then right over here above him is the new bicolor. The bicolor peacock. There's the Taiwan reef. Probably trying to figure out how he's going to assert his dominance over the new guys. Then we have another one of the big new guys right here. This is one of the haps. Beautiful. The new Lwanda Peacock with some really good blues on his face and some nice yellow on the fins. So definitely looks better than my other Lwanda. Then this is the other big new hap. I believe this is the big spot. Really good color on him too. I keep saying that, but the colors of peacocks and haps just can't really be beat. It's really looking nice with the extra fish in here, nice and full. Really good stocking. We'll go ahead and feed these guys in just a second and get a better look. Feeding frenzy as usual, and a lot of the new guys already eating well, going after the peewee pellets. Just chaos, especially with the extra 6 of them in here. Now there's a full tank, and it looks even better when you feed them. So guys, it has been a couple days and the fish have settled in really nicely. They all look happy and healthy, and I couldn't be happier with how this tank is starting to look with the extra fish, the colors, the body shapes. This really has come along, and I can't wait to see the growth and evolution, as there still is some more growth to happen with a few of these cichlids, and especially the haps, and I can't wait to see this tank over the next few months. I couldn't have been happier with my order from Beantown Aquatics. I would highly recommend checking out their site. You can also use the code BRO15 to get a 15% discount on domestic fish on his website, so definitely go check it out. You could get, I think, 5 of the fish I got today on his website with the discount, so check that out. I'll leave details in the description as well. But I hope you enjoyed seeing the update on this 135-gallon aquarium and the unboxing of these beautiful African cichlids. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you next time.